Hi, my name's Remy Grangien, and this is Redefining Education, brought to you by the White Band Movement. If you don't know, just visit the website. Yeah, it's in the bottom corner. And today we'll be talking about the importance of education and sort of comparing our current system to a more holistic approach and why we need that. So the first question to ask is really, why education? Now, if we step away from what we usually define education as and what we think of when we're going through school and university, our education defines who we are in a sense. It's everything that we do and all that. And it's really what defines our philosophy and our mindset and where we want to go in life and for what reasons. And because it defines us, it really therefore defines our world, because what we do defines our communities, which then goes on to define our societies, and therefore, in essence, is the way in which the world changes. Because we often used to think that policy is really the root of change, and it can be in a sense. We thought that politics, through mandate and stuff like that, would alter society, which then would magically fix the issue. But often, how often does politics work? So really, the new model for change that we emphasize is that, well, if education shapes society and society is supposed to really solve the problem, we should really be looking at education. And this is because if we want to develop a happier, healthier, and more harmonious global community, we need to really emphasize the qualities that will bring that about, such as innovation and compassion and creativity, teamwork with others, our health and well-being. All that sort of stuff is very crucial for this better world that we're talking about. And obviously, as education is the root of change, this is sort of like we need to look at what qualities do we want education to bring. So following this, does our education system actually provide this? And by our education system, I'm talking about schools, and really none in particular, because a lot do things differently, and especially in different countries, the system changes. And I'm not specifically talking about any of them, but I'm talking about what students believe their school system represents. So let's look at some of its underlying principles. So generally, in terms of school in the Western world, more money equals a better education. We don't have an equal education system where everyone gets the same opportunity. No, the more money you pay, the more opportunities you get, the better, apparently, teachers you get and stuff like that. Health, well-being, all these social skills we were talking about before, a sacrifice for a report card, because good marks is placed well above these other important skills. That this will apparently land us a degree in a field that we wanted, and this is quite a hard topic, because a lot of people express interest in things only after, just say, their parents have suggested to them what they should be in, or their teachers or something like that. And all of this to eventually get a job, regardless of whether they or not they enjoy it. So it's really no surprise that most students aren't happy with the school system. There's a large dissent among students and kids. So if so, how has the school system kept us going? Why is this wheel still turning? The biggest reason is because of the concept of success, a very Western, I hate to use the word, but capitalist sense of success, where no money, no job, no status if you don't study hard. If you don't work hard at school, if you don't go through the stress and you go through the grind of exams, that you will end up with no money, no job, no status, no roof over your heads. Also, this is done through the ranking system. Our system, to boost scores, they think that making students more competitive with one another will actually end up in better results in terms of scores. And they kind of do, but this basically discourages teamwork, which, as we saw, is a very, very important skill in developing the new world. And lastly, this divides them. Basically, everyone's gone through this in school, where we have a division between the academic and the smart kids and those that really have given up on themselves and believe they don't have any talents or skills because the system only believes in one set model, one set box that you must fit in. So basically this makes a system that is stressful, limiting, and according to the students, unenjoyable. So yeah, not only is it unenjoyable and limiting, but it suppresses the skills that we were talking about that are necessary for this progressive and happier globe. So really, if this is true and education is what defines us, do we really want this system to continue, this limiting, unenjoyable, and stressful system? Because most people are aware that education is more than what we talked about, more than the money, the report card, the degree, the job. And it really is who we are, our ideas, our happiness, our connections and teamwork skills, our progress, and ultimately our world and the way in which we change it. So what's really stopping us from changing the system at the moment? Well, really, let's look at the word change in relation to education. See, with change in education, the debate is really led purely by academics and politicians. Students and teachers and that are sort of sidelined when it comes to discussion on education. And there's this extreme focus on scores and how to up scores and how to increase our percentiles and stuff like that. And this is always in relation to money. More money will equal better scores, or more resources will equal better scores. And obviously the way politics work is really what drives this, because politics is all about money and academics is all about, isolating something and figuring out what's wrong with it. When really, we should be focusing on the underlying principles of the system and the method in which it works and how these affect the students and the society and our global community. So look at it in a more holistic overall view, and really the discussion should be led by the students, teachers and community, because firstly, they're the ones directly affected from it, and they're also the ones that are most in tune with it, most intimate with it. The students are currently going through it. The teachers are currently directing it. The community are seeing the results of it straight away. So in terms of these people, we need these guys to redefine education, because they are the ones that are directly benefiting and also going through the system. So basically that's where the white band movement comes in. We're basically bringing the community together to get involved in an education that is holistic, purposeful and engaging. There's other principles in which the system relies on, but these are the principal ones. Holistic meaning we don't leave anything out, purposeful as in it's relevant in our lives, and engaging as in it's actually enjoyable and fulfilling. So here we have a typical 2x2 of what that limited system is. We've got our humanities, our sciences, our mathematics and language. We usually have a bit of art and sport depending on what school you go to, but these are sort of sidelined towards the end for the academics. But in a holistic system, that is just one section of a much larger pie. And that section is called academics, which is very important, but it shares its role with so many other different skills, which we saw the current school system sidelines, such as critical thinking, social awareness, free thinking, health and well-being. All of these are very important in rounding off a person's character so they can go out and make positive change in the world. In terms of purposeful, we mean it does use these skills. It does promote these skills that are purposeful in our lives. Like without social skills, how are you hoping to make a positive impact on someone's life? Have good relationships with one another. If you're not compassionate, how can we hope students to want to go out and actually help other people around the globe? And in terms of engaging, we want positive student-teacher interactions, positive student-student interactions, and we're doing this through making the system so much more enjoyable and engaging and positive, and involving the students' passions in learning, because in doing so, kids just learn better. The happier a kid is, the more engaged a kid is, the more he'll learn, and that makes the class time more efficient, that makes outcomes just essentially better. So most importantly, how are we going to implement the system? And the quick answer is by getting physically involved. Now, what do we mean by that? Okay, so if you've already been introduced to the white band movement, you probably know it's something along the lines of a grassroots educational movement where the community can get involved together and start up this new principle of education. So if you want to get involved, the best thing to do is visit the website and visit the contact map, like here on the screen. And the contact map basically shows your area and is split up in terms of regions, areas, and groups. So there's two main things that underpin the movement: group sessions and meetups. Group sessions are basically the bread and butter of the movement, where everyone in a particular community and local area, where everyone can easily access each other, run this holistic, purposeful and engaging education system in the hope that their schools, well, firstly, hopefully that it will benefit the community and better educational outcomes, but also to set an example to the school that you have left gaps and that we're filling them in, and we hope you take the cue and let us fill them in. So basically what we're looking for in terms of changing the school system is changing through example. Now, secondly, we have meetups. Now, meetups are larger and less frequent and are usually have a lot more significant in terms of what goes on. And they're a very good way for newcomers to sort of get a taste of this new education approach and sort of ask questions and meet sort of the leaders of the white band movement and really see the direction in which it's going. And all of these are meant to be fun and engaging and enjoyable sort of events. Now, if you don't happen to live near a group or a meetup or an area or a region, or you'll see it on the contact map when you visit it, don't worry, because there's a large online section to the movement, and that's mainly a discussion of ideas. So in terms of we've got this thing called the resource section on the website, where we discuss ideas, we allow people to contribute to the philosophy, because the most important thing about the movement is the philosophy is dynamic. The philosophy is changing. We're not just stuck in one little spot. No, we want everyone from around the globe to come in and put their 2 cents worth in so we can further develop and develop and develop. And if you're really confident and you live far away from the movement currently, you can get talking with us on how you can start the movement in your area, how you can become a local organizer, how you could become a regional organizer, or how you could even just get started. It started within your school or within your family or at the workplace. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this has been informational. All those links I was talking about, we got the contact map, which was basically the way in which you find contacts within the movement, how you can get talking with people. We had the resource section, which is where we discuss and contribute to the philosophy of the movement. And lastly is our approach to education, which is a page on the website that really goes in depth in that model and the principles and the areas of development and the way in which the teacher-student relation works and the different learning approaches. So just either visit the website, contact us on any one of our social networking sites, and I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks.